Original date of the Murli is December 18th, 1991. And the title is Tapasya is to experiment with honesty in every action. In this Murli, you will not necessarily you'll retain, but you will have heard the standard for honesty. And after hearing this Murli, there is no way you can say, oh, I didn't know. You have to not know because you became dishonest internally. Like even to watch others is dishonest. To watch others instead of watching yourself is dishonest. All these things are, coming from vices ultimately. Today, Bapdada is seeing the special signs of tapasya in all the tapaswi kumars and tapaswi kumaris from everywhere. You've been told before about the specialties of tapaswi souls. Today, Bapdada is mentioning another specialty. Tapasvi souls means constantly honest souls. So intense meditation, the proof of it looks like honesty. Difficulty in yoga means lack of honesty. And of course, he has said that in other ways before. He says, there's no problem in yoga if you follow Srimad. Not to follow Srimad makes one dishonest. Honesty is the specialty of a tapasvi. So being scared, dishonest. Getting influence, dishonest. Creating waste, dishonest. Confusion, dishonest. Excuses, the whole 9 yards, right? Projection of any kind, dishonest. Desires, expectations, dishonest. But that is mentioning another specialty. Tapasvi souls means constantly honest souls. Honesty is the specialty of a tapasvi. An honest soul means a soul who is honest in following Srimad in every action. Not some, not most. Wherever you're not following, that's due to your dishonesty. You recognize God, you understood what he said, you don't do it, that's dishonest. Honest means faithful and honest. You can't be honest and not faithful. It's your faithfulness that allows you to be honest, to not be in fear, to not be scared, to not be influenced. It's your faith. Honest means faithful and honest. Honest in following Srimad, that is to be faithful. He talked about the 4 types of faith. So if you don't follow Srimad, then your faith in Baba must be incomplete, right? Your faith in yourself, therefore, has to be incomplete. Which comes first, faith in Baba or faith in self?
I think faith in self, like you teach the subject of soul first. So we must recognize ourselves as a soul in order to understand Baba even as a soul and to have recognition.
Recognition is a slippery word, but if you had recognized yourself as a soul when it was explained to you you were a soul, then
You would have had immediate understanding.
and renunciation, surrender even. So understanding is not the same thing as faith. It's necessary, but it's not the same thing.
You always list faith in the self first, but to even have faith that I am a soul, I have to have faith that it's Baba. I have to have faith in him. He's telling me that. So
But before you can have faith in Baba and thereby have faith that it's God who's telling you this, you were first given knowledge. And that knowledge is in the sanskars, it's eternal. And so because of that knowledge, you recognize Baba again. From last cycle, you now remember him again. You recognize him again. You have to have faith in Baba first because we didn't know anything. Even when we heard knowledge, we still didn't have the power to practice. Many of you, how many of you say you recognize that it's God speaking? Every one of you. But you can't follow what he says fully. So recognizing Baba at that level of recognition still lacks faith. Right? Because remember, where there's faith is the expression of your purity and your power of truth. Hmm? Honest souls automatically take every step according to the signal of Srimad. Even if their mind sanskar interferes and says to do something else, they won't let it interfere. They won't give it energy. They will not be influenced by the manmat. They'll catch it and say, no, that's manmat. And the power of their faith in Baba will make them follow Srimad instead. Their every step automatically follows the signals of Srimad, just as many things automatically function through signals with the power of science. You do not have to make them function, the instruments of science. It's automatic. With the power of science, whether through electricity or vibrations, as soon as you switch them on, they begin to function. However, because the power of science is perishable, they only function for a temporary period. Through the power of silence from the Eternal Father, you constantly continue to move forward easily and automatically in this Brahman light. So this experience is subtle. And progress is based on subtle, and lack of progress is because your intellect is gross, your mind is gross. Vices are gross. Through the power of silence from the Eternal Father, you constantly continue to move forward easily and automatically in this Brahman life. As soon as you received your Brahman birth, Bapdada filled your divine intellect with Srimad. An honest soul means one who naturally, so as soon as you said Baba, there was recognition, you now were given Srimad. For that, you were given knowledge based on Srimad, but you didn't get Srimad unless you recognize who was Sri. An honest soul means one who naturally and easily continues to follow the signals of Srimad. So that is your number one effort, to check, to follow, and correct if you're following Srimad or not. Every second, in every thought, word, action. He gives you a simple method compared to what Brahma Baba did. Srimad. Srimad means stay alert, focused. All of you move, but there are many types of differences in your way of moving. Some move easily at a fast speed. Why? Because those souls constantly and clearly have Srimad in their intellect, and therefore they are powerful. The more you follow, the more powerful you are. Lack of power, return karma for recording weakness in you due to not following Srimad. It's so crystal clear, right? The importance of following Srimad. It's the only thing you get that's different from Iron Age. This is the number one honesty, number one level standard quality of honesty. Number one souls do not have to think, is this Srimad or not? Remember, if you have to ask, it's not Srimad. Right? If there's confusion, lack of clarity, there's lack of purity. Something you've done has caused that. Therefore, you didn't follow Srimad somewhere. So they don't have to be told. They understand. And then after you're told, and you do understand, because it makes so much sense, you still don't do it, then what's that? How much grossly dishonest is that? That you pretend not to understand, then somehow either Baba, Murli, or instrument explains to you, and then you still don't do it. So that means you always understood, but you've always not wanted to follow that, renounce whatever had to be renounced. That's why there is no I don't know. Other souls have to think many times because it's not so clear to them what is Srimad, what is not. This is why from a fast speed, they slow down to a mediocre speed. So even if you are honest enough to say, I don't know if this is Srimad or not, then the sign of your honesty would be?
You would check.
You would check. You would ask someone who's got more experience. And if they can't answer you clearly or aren't honest enough, you'd go to a higher authority. But ultimately, the highest authority is the Murli, where all the Srimads are. So therefore, missing a Murli class, how many Srimad, how many How much effort have they delayed because they don't know? But they chose not to know because they could come, right? So this is why from a fast speed, they slow down to a mediocre speed. As well as that, some think too much and some get, due to thinking too much, they get tired. So tiring to think too much. All of you are moving, but those who think and those who get tired claim the second number. Okay? Think too much, get tired, you're in the second number. You're not in the first number. Just for that. Why do you get tired? Well, it's moving along. You mix manmat with shrimat. Oh, manmat, parmat with shrimat. This is why you wander away from the straight and clear path of a point onto the crooked path of the question mark, uncertainty, doubt. That's all the question mark. I don't know. That's the question mark. Why don't you know? You heard this last cycle. Oh, you're still suppressing stuff. Oh, but what are you suppressing? Virtue and honesty or dishonesty and weakness? So you make crooked that which is straight. So easy, just follow. Oh, I don't know how to follow. So just think about it. So what would the result be then? At what speed would they move? How far would those who follow the crooked path be able to go? They would get tired and they would turn back after becoming disheartened. Tiredness leads to disheartened. Therefore, they end up becoming, you said earlier, the second number. That's the standard between golden and silver. That's the standard between royal and subject or servant. It's honesty. Do not become happy that you're moving along anyway, but check both your way of moving and your speed. Do you understand what honesty is? So some of you eventually get to honesty, but it's taking you a long time to get to at least the honesty of identifying what the issue is. Usually you're identifying an external issue that's an expression of the actual weakness, but you're not zeroing in on the weakness, and therefore you don't know what to work on, or you do some effort, but it's not powerful enough to finish off the seed. Baba says, another sign of an honest soul is that they will never waste any of the treasures. What are the treasures?
Thoughts, time,
Feelings,
knowledge,
words,
Actions.
powers, virtues, relationships. Honest souls will not waste the treasures of the confluence stage for even a second. Wasting is dishonest. Wasting anything, time, anything. Because each second of the confluence age is greater than a year. Just as 8 annas of physical money of a poor person is equal to 800 annas of a wealthy person. Why? Because the love of an honest heart with which the 8 annas are filled is greater than 800, the honesty of the 800 that a wealthy person gave. All determined by considering the money to be yours. It corrupts the power of wealth. Wealth has power. Wealth is a power. In the same way, each second of the confluence age is so valuable because you can accumulate multi-millions in just a second. So to waste it means to not accumulate. To lose a second means to lose the time in which you earn an income worth multi-millions. Similarly, they will not waste the treasure of thoughts, the treasure of the wealth of knowledge, the treasure of all powers and all virtues. If you do not use all the powers, all the virtues, and the knowledge in a task, if you do not use them for others and for service, then that too is called wasting. So if you don't like to do service a lot, don't do a lot of service. That's wasting. And you're taking in, Baba's filling you, others are filling you. You're not giving out. If the bestower gives, but those who are to receive do not imbibe it, that would also be called wasteful. Baba gives you blessings, you don't do anything with them, that's wasting God's blessings. That's serious karma. Those who are honest do not just keep aside the wealth they attain. The sign of an honest soul is that so he doesn't spend it, maybe, it doesn't waste it on things. The sign of an honest soul is that he increases those treasures, whatever the treasure. The way to increase something is to
Donate it.
Use it in a worthwhile.
use it for a task. So if you can't hold power, if you're not holding purity, you're not holding knowledge, it's because you're not using it practically. Baba says, if you do not use the wealth of knowledge for other souls or your own progress according to the time, then those treasures will never increase. So then time's being wasted. An honest manager or director is one who shows a profit and a progress in any task. So not progressing, stagnating, that's dishonest. So in the same way, are you those who make a profit by using the treasures of knowledge, powers, and virtues for a task, or are you those who waste them? Are you wasting your time battling Maya and battling the same Maya day after day, giving the same excuses or even new excuses for that weakness day after day? Even just dishonest by saying the word yes, but that's dishonest. Your body, mind, and physical wealth are all treasures given to you by the Father. The wealth was given to you by Baba, even though you earned it, but you earned it with your intellect and your mind, no? The wealth that you earned was actually given to you by Baba because he gave you the virtues and powers and knowledge, the intellect capacity, intellectual capacity to earn, right? So then what arrogance is it to think it's yours and do it the way you want? Or don't use it in Baba's service, or use it in Baba's service and complain about it, or want it back, or all that Maya. And is that any different than saying, yes, Baba, I'm surrendered, I want a surrendered life and that, and then changing your mind? That's the same dishonesty, right? You had the thought, right? You understood, you had the thought, everything is yours, sab kuch tera, capital Y. So then obviously the problem is you take it back or you still think it's yours. It is not that you only surrender half of it to Baba, that you put a little of your wealth aside and give the rest of it to the Father, that you keep a little pocket money for a rainy day, that you put some aside for a time of need. To put something aside for a time of need is to be sensible. To the extent that there is the consciousness of mind, accordingly, there's a lot of twisting around in many things because you have to hide that selfish desire that makes you hide things. Like just being in the fear, not being in trust and secure that my life belongs to Baba. Baba's responsible for me. He's going to take care of me because I only belong to Baba. He's responsible for me. Not being able to say that is because of dishonesty, right? Is there any version of this that says, oh, if I'm honest, then I have to surrender? And surrender is just the first step you take in order to become a trustee. Because if you're not a trustee, you do sometimes, and when you're not sometimes, you don't listen to all the things Baba says in the Murli. Sometimes you listen, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you apply it, sometimes you don't. How does that do to honesty? Picky choosy is dishonest. Doesn't mean you can inculcate it all immediately, but your aim should be to do that. Every point you hear, oh, I got to practice that today. Therefore, Baba says, those on the path of bhakti understand that this is the twist created through the consciousness of mind. Bhakti is full of people who have mind, mind, mind. Therefore, when you have actually said, Sab kuch tera, everything is yours, it's not simply the body, but it's also
Mind and wealth.
the mind, wealth, and objects. So wasting Baba's money, being careless, it's all ego, it's all selfishness, it's all because of mine. Not just wealth, but objects are also wealth. Where do objects come from? They come through your wealth, do they not? Therefore, to waste any object, any physical wealth, to have wasteful thoughts in the mind, and to perform wasteful actions through the body, and to waste time through the body are also all counted as
Waste.
waste and therefore dishonest. Wow. Wherever you live, whether in the household or in a center or in Madhuban, everyone's body, mind, wealth all belong to the Father. Whether you accept that or not, they still all do. That is absolute truth. You don't have to agree with it. 8.5 billion people don't agree with it. It's still the truth. Or do those who live in the household think that they're not surrendered, so therefore everything is theirs? Oh, we live in the household. That's only for surrendered people. Lie. That's dishonest. No, everything has been given to you in trust by the Father to look after, regardless of your situation, home or surrendered in a center. It's not yours, but you treat it like it's yours. The karma you're earning every day just walking around in that attitude, you can't even calculate. It's all coming out of the back end of your cycle and the front end. Obviously, you're going to get a lower status, be less wealthy, less powerful, because you didn't use your wealth as if it was Baba's. And because you misused it and hid it, you have less on the second half, especially at the end. It runs out by ironage. Baba says, so you think that everything is theirs? No, everything has been given to you in trust by the Father to look after. Honesty means never to misuse anything given to you in trust. To waste something means to misuse that which was given to you in trust by the Father, by God. Anything you misuse. So the sign of an honest soul is that the soul will not misuse anything given in trust. You have to be a trustee. You will not waste even a small object. Many times, because of the carelessness of your intellect, or because of carelessness in performing actions through the body, even small objects get wasted, lost, damaged. Lost or damaged is misused, right? So many times you guys do that, you don't even bat an eye. So if you waste or damage something and you don't tell, what's that called? And all the objects come from the wealth that Baba gave you in trust, then you're stealing that wealth. Okay? Just so you understand karma. Now you can understand how much karma you have in the cycle and how much of it is being created now in the confluence stage from the time you've had knowledge. Baba says, many times because of this carelessness of your intellect, because of carelessness performing actions through the body, even small objects are wasted. Then you think, but I didn't do it on purpose. It just happened. Is that honest? Just to let it happen means carelessness, which means dishonest. Just to let it happen. To watch it happen, let it happen, facilitate it to happen, ignore that it happened, pretend it didn't happen, suppress, deny that it happened. Now, how can you be clean if you're not honest? So you can hear all the nice Murlis where he's holding your hand and he's saying, Baba loves you. You are Baba's special, beloved. What's that word for? Huh?
Dilar.
Yeah, Dilari children. And then you hear this. And then the obvious question that begs to be asked is, are you? How could beloved children act this way? You see how Baba is? Praise, 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 but then are you worthy of the praise? It just happened. Just to let it happen means carelessness. Whether it is the carelessness of the intellect or of labor through the body, both types of carelessness create waste. So do not waste anything. From one, let there be a tenfold increase. Not that there should be any waste, but that always refers to this with one slogan. Less expenditure, greater
result.
greater glorification. So if the glorification hasn't had, it's because we're wasting. And if we're wasting, therefore, it's because we're dishonest, careless. Right? He didn't say it directly, but it's kind of implied, no? But nobody wants to hear the Murli that way. This means to increase, and the other means to lose. An honest soul means one who constantly uses the mind, body, and wealth in a worthwhile way. This is the sign of being an honest soul. A tapasvi means one who experiments with all the specialties of honesty in every action. So if you misuse something, body, mind, wealth, thoughts, words, actions, relationships, feelings, the karmic result of that is you've created the dishonesty, you'll have to sustain the dishonesty, and because you're sustaining the dishonesty, you now have to speak the language of reasons and excuses. Any excuse you've ever uttered in front of Baba is your dishonesty, nothing else. It's strong, eh? Strong dose today. A tapasvi soul means one who experiments with all the specialties of honesty in every action. It should not be that you say, everything is merged and I know everything. No, the meaning of tapasya and yoga, so the only thing getting in the way of deep yoga is honesty. The meaning of tapasya and yoga is to use it for experimentation, to apply it in the actual situation in the moment. If you do not use these specialties of honesty in your experimentation, then neither are you those who experiment, prayogis, or nor are you yogis. Bapdada has given you all of these treasures for you to experiment with. The more you become those who experiment, the more progress there will be in those who experiment, because they now have experiences. If there isn't progress, you are not those who experiment. You're not applying. Many souls feel internally that they are neither moving forward nor backwards. Man, they're stuck. Same old vice, same old difficulties, same old excuses, same old reasons, same old Maya, same old, same old. They are as they always have been. Many also say that they were very good in the beginning and that they had a lot of intoxication, but that the intoxication has now decreased. Remember I tell you old ones? This is what happens to you old ones, right? Your intoxication's gone down, correct? Yeah, why? You didn't experiment. Baba gave you all this knowledge, you didn't experiment. That's dishonesty, he's saying. So you lost power as a result of dishonesty. So what are you going to do about it? Feel bad? Cry? Give excuses? Hide? Or face your dishonesty? Become honest. The meaning of honesty is that the soul's progress is through experimenting. Have you become such souls who experiment in such a way? Or do you keep everything merged inside? Suppressed, merged, he's using it like that. It's good if the treasures stay inside. Is it good that the treasures stay inside and are not used? Of course not. That's where wasting begins. Are you honest in that way? So that's why you have to be ever ready to apply knowledge. You have to have the points, the jewels, the gems, the virtues, the powers at hand, ready to apply whatever the situation that comes. That would be honest. The father and the family will automatically have love in the heart for and trust someone who is honest. Because of their trust, they give a full right to that one. So that's back to that topic I said. You have to give a right based on recognizing that person has love for you and thereby overcome your fear of accepting the responsibility that comes with love, which is to listen and to change. A soul who is honest automatically experiences the love of the Father as well as the family. Such a soul experiences trust from seniors, juniors, and those who are equal. To what extent have you become worthy of such love and trust? Check this too. Do not carry on thinking, because of this they don't trust me. So how can I then become worthy or be trusted? But make yourself worthy. Souls often say, I am good, but they don't trust me. Hmm? Because of this, they speak in a long-winded way. So many words, so many points, so many explanations to explain something, but instead of just saying, well, that's because I was dishonest. They give many reasons, and many reasons are also created. However, there should be honesty in the heart as well as honesty in the head.
The head. The head.
Okay, it has to be both honesty. And if there's only honest in one, you're still dishonest. Never mind, some of you struggle with being honest in either. Otherwise, you fluctuate in your head a great deal. That's why you have storms. It's a lack of purity due to the dishonesty and manifesting as dishonest. So there has to be honesty in the heart, honesty in the head, where there are all types of honesty. Then, even if there is a lack of trust by someone, if not today, then tomorrow there will be trust. So if you take care of business, they will eventually have to change their opinion of you. Baba says, there is a saying, the boat of truth may rock, but it will never sink. So the boat of trust is the boat of truth and honesty. Although it will rock, to be worthy of trust means that the boat will never
Sing.
sink. So if you're trustworthy, then the boat can't sink. So even if a test comes, because you're trustworthy, you'll handle it like a trustee. You'll handle it honestly, so your boat won't sink. So everybody who leaves GAN, everybody who runs away from anything, it's because of their dishonesty. Everybody gets that? Understand that? So know that next time you feel like running away from something. And then blaming, making excuses, saying, well, it's because you did that. You're like that. Because this family did this one in the family did that. They didn't do this. It's so dishonest you can't even describe it if you compare it to this Murli. So I've been telling you from day one, because I've read these Murlis before. This one, especially, I remember too. They run away because they're ashamed to face their own dishonesty. And as we keep making effort and increase the level of understanding and what it means to apply that understanding, the noose is getting tighter and people get scared and so they run. It says, therefore, with the courage of truth, you can become worthy of trust. You heard previously that truth cannot be proven. The truth is self-evident, right? Purity, power, truth. Then you have faith. So then how come you don't have full faith in Baba or self or drama or family?
Lack of purity, power, and truth.
Lack of truth. Others are never the cause of anything. That's just impurity. You're a victim. That's impurity. They did it. I didn't do that. That's impurity. Because purity looks like you have loving good wishes for them even when they're lying through their teeth. So do not try to prove anything. The truth doesn't need to be proven. It's self-evident. But become the embodiment of success by experimenting, by applying. So according to the speed of time, let your steps of tapasya move forward quickly and easily. So why isn't progress quickly and easily? Because of the carelessness of being dishonest, not being a trustee. If you understand that, then you'll always go look for the dishonesty in your action, attitude, thoughts, previous actions that led to this moment. Do you understand what has to be done in the year of Tapasya? There's still some time left. Adopt all these methods for yourself and become an embodiment of success. Acha. This was like one of the quintessential Murlis from that year of Tapasya. Acha, to all the honest souls, to the souls who constantly move forward by using all the treasures for a task, to the souls who constantly use their mind, body, wealth for a task in an accurate way, to the souls who constantly make themselves worthy of trust and love, to the elevated souls who change waste into best, to the souls who are sitting far away in this land and abroad, and yet are still sitting close and personally in front of the Father, but that is love, remembrance, and namaste. Now, this may be overwhelming. Right? How many of you feel, wow, that's strong. That's a lot. Who feels like that? A
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah. Okay, good. That's your low self-esteem. The positive is what?
I can do it.
Why can you do it? What's the truth?
You understand it.
Because you understood it.
Mhm.
You understood it on the basis of that purity that Baba's talking about that is already inside of you. But when you go to the low self-esteem of feeling, right, you go right to dishonesty to push it away. I don't like that. That's too much. That's too much means I can't handle it. Is that honest?
Mm.
No. So you responded to truth about honesty with dishonesty. That's why you have a hard time changing. Always going back to that scaredy cat, fearful victim, I am weak sanskar. Even though you've been told the truth, and the truth should actually
Set you free.
and empower you so you could be free. But you keep going back to Maya's truth, Maya's lies. And that's because of your own self-opinion being untrue. Remember I tell you, don't believe anything you think about yourself. You don't know yourself. You're not even in the state you were in when you first came to the planet to play your part. So your opinion doesn't matter. Only Baba's opinion matters, and you should just only be doing what he tells you. But you don't because of your low self-esteem due to attachment and guilt of your impurity that you are still defining yourself by. To be set free means don't define yourself by that anymore. That's a realization. And now you're free. Blessing. May you be an embodiment of success using every second and every treasure in a worthwhile way and experiment with happiness of that success. Experience the happiness of that success. May you be an embodiment of success using every second and every treasure in a worthwhile way and experience the happiness of that success of using everything in a worthwhile way. Because to do that, you have to value, to care, to love. That's how come you use stuff in it. You don't want to waste. The special way to become an embodiment of success is to use every second, every breath, and every treasure in a worthwhile way. If you want to experience success in your thoughts, words, deeds, relationships, and connections, continue to use everything in a worthwhile way and let nothing go to waste. So that takes concentration at every moment to check. Am I using it properly according to Srimad? If you use something in a worthwhile way for yourself or for other souls, you will automatically continue to experience the happiness of using it in a worthwhile way, because to use something in a worthwhile way means to attain success in the present and to accumulate for the future. So if you can understand this truth, all you got to do is apply it. But the fact that you can understand it tells you what standard you started off the cycle in, that kind of purity and trusteeship. That you don't do it is why you have guilt and carelessness and laziness. Okay, well, that's you created that. But you could change it, is what Baba's saying. You could just decide, I don't want to be dishonest anymore. I want to live as a trustee. I want to follow all the Srimats, right? And then you just get on busy with living a proper Brahmin life. And for that, you have to surrender. You don't have to come live in a center, but you have to surrender if you want to be close to God. Slogan, when nothing attractive attracts you, even in your thoughts, then you can be said to be close to perfection. Imagine that. Nothing that attracts you, nothing attractive that you understood used to attract you, can attract you. You must be getting close to perfection. Om Shanti.